Hello and welcome. It's a brand new Money Lap. I'm Parker Kligerman, but this week I'm not joined by my good buddy, Landon Cassill. He dipped out on us. He's on vacation. So in his place, it takes not one, but two people. And for a while, we called this a group chat. It's AJ Henderson and Joshua Mendoza joining me here on the Money Lap. We're going to dive into all things NASCAR Cup driver signings, Xfinity Series, silly season, some Martinsville predictions, and the latest in F1, and much, much more. Let's get rolling. Off the cuff, boys.
We still got it. We can still do it.
We do.
Back.
AJ, you got to talk into your mic.
You got to talk into your mic.
Yeah,
It sounded fine a second ago. Now like I'm not.
Now you're getting better.
Yeah.
You're pulling a Landon. You're actually replacing him perfectly because
love it.
Each and every, I think it's every 2 weeks we have to remind him you talk into the mic, Landon. Not
I'm
around
just
it.
glad we have the group chats back. I wasn't sure if we canceled the group chat because you didn't like us or if you were actually busy on Wednesdays.
Well, and then the main show took Wednesdays. We started this year, for a little background for our one listener, Denny Hamlin. Appreciate you, buddy. Thank you. For the little background here, we started the year saying, okay, Parker and Landon are going to do Mondays, recap everything from the weekend, look ahead. Wednesdays would be us on this group chat, looking towards the next weekend, capturing some of the stuff that's happening over the week, that sort of thing. We did a couple of them. We had guests, which was fun. And then as you brought up, AJ, I got incredibly busy. So the best laid plans did not work out. And therefore, I feel like we had to stop this. And then Landon needed to move the main show to Wednesdays because his Mondays got busy. And so that sort of cannibalized and ate this one. And now here we are on Thursday, October 23rd, doing a group chat. And it's the only episode this week. But we had to put one out.
We did. We were legally obligated to put one out.
We would be actually contractually in trouble if we didn't get another episode out here. So here we are. And let's talk about some of the things going on, guys. For those that also don't know, Josh Mendoza is the producer.
Hello.
Of this show every single week. AJ Henderson is the clips guy, video editor, and occasional backup producer when Josh can't do it. So
when the episodes get better, AJ's editing them.
He did it. He also does. He's the one that's funny on our Twitter, usually.
Oh, he is hilarious.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
I don't think I am, but thank you.
And we'll get the fake outrage text.
There's many draft tweets that never went out. We'll just keep it that way.
That's disappointing.
We should
press that, especially when it's an anonymous. Like there's no name attached to it. It's just us.
It's true. Yeah.
You do whatever you want. Don't let the horrendous beard on AJ fool you if you're watching on YouTube.
Damn,
he's
bro.
Intelligent. Yeah, he's quite intelligent.
That's crazy.
I think I've been on you about that beard for how long now?
I'm not getting rid of it. My girlfriend wants me to get rid of it. It's not happening. I did it a couple years ago. I got rid of it. Then I got made fun of relentlessly for weeks until it grew back. And I'm not doing it again.
I mean, you just get made fun of every time I see you. I see that thing.
See, you're the only person that makes fun of me for having the beard. Everybody else makes fun of me for not having it. So
honestly, I think the problem is the rest of the aesthetic doesn't match the beard. You got to wear like a plaid button-up shirt and then move to Oregon and then actually cut down trees. And then you'd be fine. It's just...
you're right.
You're a CNC operator, right? That's what you do?
I am. Well, I'm a machinist. Yeah, I do CNC and regular machining. So the beard fits. There's lots of beards in blue collar work like mine.
You have to clean out the metal scraps from your beard?
Sometimes, yeah. Today I was blowing out, we have a little cup for oil to tap holes in parts, and I was blowing the table off and accidentally blew air into the cup of oil, and it just went all over me.
And so you are covered in oil right now.
I took a shower before this, but so I'm good now.
We appreciate it, especially the listeners out there, or the listener. Danny, he appreciates that you showered before this because the smell doesn't come through in audio.
Yeah.
Yep. Smell-o-vision, we got it.
Makes sense. I know I'm mean about your beard, but you remind me the way you just said that. There used to be a skit. I think I've brought this up before with you. There's an SNL skit, I believe it was, and it was like the beard takes over this guy's life, and he ends up at the end without like a girlfriend, nothing, and it's like she's like, "I hate the beard," and he's like, "The beard stays. You go."
Yeah, that's the way it is. Sorry.
That's wild.
I don't know. I can't relate in any respect, but anyway.
Can you grow a beard?
Yeah,
not to be on the spot.
I just got it trimmed. Yeah, a little bit.
Why don't you grow it out one year?
That's
what you should.
Just simply homeless when I get there.
That's the whole point, though. You could have had a cool playoff beard the last couple of years.
Do you know in LA, there's a saying: the more homeless you look, the richer you are. So it's usually
I'd fit right in, dude.
Yeah, you'd be right there. Definitely. Let's talk racing stuff, guys. We had some driver announcements in the NASCAR Cup Series. The most unsurprising one was Daniel Suarez to the Spire number 7, which they released Justin Haley last week. And everyone sort of assumed this would be the case that Daniel Suarez was going to the 7. He did. What I thought was interesting was Jeff Dickerson, who is a co-founder of Spire and is co-owner, was quoted as saying from Toby Christie here, "When it came down to it, we needed each other."
Wow. That resonates.
That is the most open quote I've heard in a long time from an owner that basically just said, look, we had a car. It's not had any sponsors on it other than our parent company from TWG. This driver has sponsorship, has won 2 races. You know what? Let's just make this happen for a year. So I would say that I'm supportive of his openness there.
So Justin Haley didn't bring any sponsorship? What was the whole point of Justin Haley leaving Rick Ware to go to Spire last year then? Was Spire we want Justin Haley?
Well, remember he won.
Am I missing something?
Remember he won a race of them back when it was the 77 running for, being operated by Jay Robinson. They won the summer Daytona race with the Lightning. And I think that was kind of
Landon could have won that race.
I know. Well, I could have too, actually.
Yeah.
I was in the same position. We got screwed. We got pushed down. I was about to avoid the wreck. I would have been ahead of Landon and Justin. And as I was exiting the wreck, Austin Dillon hit me and into the grass, and I got stuck. And the worst part was, before we restarted that race, I told the whole team, we all discussed it, and we said, if there's one of those cautions for lightning, just stay out every single time. Don't even worry about it. Don't care about where we are. Just stay out. So we would have been the leader there. And I was like, that's brutal. So Landon, on the other hand, was actually there and I think pitted. I was like,
Yep.
Well, he's not here, and we know he's not going to listen to the episode. So if you want to tell your true thoughts, you can share that here. Well, it's a safe zone.
Yeah,
we're going to be upset this week too, because apparently this is the 13th anniversary or something of the infamous Kansas Landon Cassill Danica Patrick incident. They were like, we need Landon to talk about it on the podcast. And I was like, we're not doing. He's not going to be here this week. Sorry.
Well, he's done it before. We've had episodes where he's talked about it.
Yeah, I think it's funny when we just bring it up every 5 months and make him talk about it.
I do like that. That'd be good. So wait, you were asking, what were you asking? You asked basically about Justin Haley. So yeah, he was a former winner, that sort of thing. Obviously, there's always a discussion with his uncle being Todd Braun, who owned a race team, has owned pieces of charters, that sort of thing. With the charter ownerships not always having been public, you don't know what's going on there and what the ways people can help a certain driver in that sense. But there was a lot of people that say he was just hired, and some that say obviously there was some financial support. Who knows? Usually in racing, as we always say, follow the money. So nonetheless, I think Daniel Suarez has significant support, of course, as he's a pretty popular personality, obviously being Mexican-born driver, the only Mexican-born driver in the Cup Series. I think he, brings a lot in that sense. And so yeah, of course he has partners, and he should have partners. Like, he's a winner. He is a great personality. He's got a good following. And in this modern day form of NASCAR and racing, like, that's actually the best situation. Like, I think every driver would want to be in Suarez's situation in terms of having partners like that aligned with you. Because that's when you have the most control and you kind of choose your own destiny. So unfortunately for him, I mean, what is he, when you think about this, he's been at Joe Gibbs Racing, Haas, Gaunt Brothers, Trackhouse. This would be his 5th team in the NASCAR Cup Series.
Yeah.
There's not many left.
What season is this for? He's like a veteran of the Cup Series by now, like, for sure. Like, he's been around for a while.
100%.
Like
He went up-
2016 or something, 2017.
It
I
had
think
to
he
be
won.
20 Well, when did
2017 was his
Carl
first
retire?
year.
Yeah, Carl retired into 16 because he
Yeah.
lost the
Yeah.
championship in
And Suarez won
hard
the
fashion.
Xfinity Series championship in 2016.
But I think he moved up a little quicker and he won at the time, right? Which is a tale as old as time when a driver moves to the Cup Series when they're not maybe quite ready in that sense, and it's a tougher situation. And it's a huge, it's a huge leap in the competition level. But he's won. So in the day, like the thing we say is you got to win, and he's done that. So I think he, of all drivers to had to jump around teams like this, it is surprising when you look at his, what he brings off track, what he's able to do on track, and his popularity level. It's surprising he's had to jump around teams like this as much as he has.
He had a good stay at Trackhouse.
Yeah,
I thought it was like perfect fit, him at Trackhouse. I'm sad to leave him go, but it's cool. He'll still be in the Cup Series.
I think when Pitbull left at the beginning of this year from Trackhouse, I think the writing was on the wall. That I thought that Pitbull was Daniel Suarez was Pitbull's choice for a driver, and then Ross Chastain was Justin Marks' choice for a driver, and I thought that there was kind of like a little bit of a dynamic there. And then when Pitbull left, I was like, okay, I mean, that's all Justin Marks now. He's probably going to want to swap in some other drivers from the feeder series or whatnot, because the performance, while it's been really good, it just hasn't been to the level I think that they were hoping for out of Daniel. And I'm hoping the swap up ends up being a good situation for Daniel, finding maybe it was a crew chief situation, not quite the environment that he's most successful in being, even though he has found success. Hopefully swapping to the 7, be able to figure that out.
Well, I have to contradict you there because remember, he was what Trackhouse started with.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he was Justin Marks' choice, right?
Well, wasn't Pitbull there at the beginning too?
How early was he there? I don't think he was there in the first year. No, I don't think he was immediately there.
I thought
Pitbull, they like created it together.
I thought they started it together. I was very under the impression that it was a collaborative effort from the beginning. You know what?
Well, now you're testing my memory.
I'm
Somebody
gonna-
will call us out.
So Zilich is essentially replacing his spot.
Yeah,
right.
Exactly.
He'll be in the 87, I think, something like that.
Well, I don't know what the number will be.
It's not official yet? Okay.
No, I don't think they announced the number because I think there was some talk of moving some numbers around. So,
very fun.
I don't know if that's for sure, but I've heard things that there might be some different numbers.
There were a couple of years there where Trackhouse was kind of like they were becoming like the McLaren of NASCAR, where they have like 4 seats, but they have like 8 drivers, and it's like musical chairs.
Yep.
It seems like it's starting to settle down now, but
I think they've locked in. You got the super young one in Connor Zilich, who's potentially a generational talent. It definitely has been in Xfinity. You've got SVG, who's the road course master, greatest of all time on road courses in NASCAR. Basically a lock to win a couple races in a season, and if depending on what the format is next year, a lock to say who's gonna have a chance at a championship. And then you've got Ross Chastain, who's kind of the everyman driver, who I would say his skill set is good across all types of racetracks and is sort of like the typical stock car driver in that sense. So I think they've got a good lineup. To your point, they did have numerous drivers, including Zane Smith, who they had to let out of that contract. He was in the news yesterday or today maybe, that he will be returning to Front Row Motorsports on a multi-year deal. Also, was said that Noah Gragson and Todd Gilliland will be returning. So they did an announcement for Zane Smith and then sort of were asked about Noah and Todd, and they said they were returning. So,
all right.
Yeah.
So no changes there, it seems like.
No. I mean, well, who knows what that team even looks like, because we'll get into that.
True.
But a lot of lawsuit stuff going on this week.
Just flipping back, it looks like Pitbull was there from the start, but he may have not been like original organizer of the whole effort. It looks like it was Ty and Justin, and then they brought Pitbull in, but Pitbull has been there since before their very first start.
All right, I did have some insight in that because I don't think Justin would mind me saying this. He and I were sitting in a hotel lobby in Nashville the year before he started it, and he was working on this, and we were discussing something else, and I saw him have some calls that was with Daniel Suárez's agent and such, and he sort of at the time was like, hey, I'm going to start this race team, and I was like, yeah, maybe we'll see, and then he obviously put it all together, and now it's one of the powerhouse teams across NASCAR and MotoGP, which they won, by the way, recently.
Yeah. Yes, they did.
That was huge. Absolutely massive.
Happened to flick the TV on for the last 7 laps live watching that. And I was like, whoa, this is crazy. Just as soon as the American tunes in, they win a race. Maybe I need to do this more often.
It's all we need to do, guys. Help the Americans out internationally. We just have to watch, basically. I didn't get to see it live, but I saw the highlights and such, and that was super cool. Super, super cool. I mean, for those that don't know, if you're just NASCAR, MotoGP is like the F1 of motorcycle racing. So big deal. It also was acquired by Liberty Media recently, which is the owner of F1. So a lot of people are very excited about it. Justin timed it perfectly in acquiring that team because, what is it, a year later, they announced Liberty Media is buying it, and apparently all the teams are worth a ton more now. So that's how it works. Go Justin. He's done an excellent job of that.
Watching what Justin has done, I mean, that's nothing short of impressive. I gotta hand it. Like, it's just from acquiring Chip Ganassi to now doing this with MotoGP. It's really cool to see the success of Justin, and I'm actually extremely hopeful that we get to see him venture into more motorsports in the future and continue to expand that Trackhouse brand, because he feels like one of those legacy team owners in the future, like a Rick Hendrick or Roger Penske, that will continue to find success. And I don't know. He just seems like a team owner that I kind of want to cheer on, which is not something that I've ever felt in the past.
I think it's awesome, man. I think he's crushed it. Like, in so many respects, I see what he's done and how he's put that all together. And I can remember, some of the things he told me about how they came up with the brand, and he thought about the brand so early on. He didn't want to just call it, Justin Marks Racing or something. It was like, I want a brand that's more, that can grow beyond just being a race team. It can be an entertainment brand. He, had the idea of connecting really closely to Nashville and the entertainment world. And, expansion into other motorsports than just NASCAR. And I think he's done so well with that. It's awesome to see. He's a really intelligent guy who, obviously comes from a very affluent background, but he's utilize that platform to create something that's super cool in the world of motorsports. So I think overall he's done an amazing job. And, he's kind of, to me, like the role model of any driver out there, anyone who wants to get in the ownership side, to say like, hey, you got to think about it to the granular detail like this guy did. Like he was thinking so much broader than just the nuts and bolts of a race team. It was like, the branding, the vibe around it, the idea of like, where do you start? How do you get going? And when do you make the decision to become more self-sufficient like they did? How do you get to becoming a key partner of a manufacturer? You end up buying Chip Ganassi Racing because you just call them out of the blue. Like, that was an amazing play that I don't think many people thought of at all. And so overall, I think, he's done an insanely good job of this. And, the MotoGP thing, he saw that, knew it was undervalued, was like doing that. Boom, got it. They've won a race. Liberty Media buys the series, which is the guys who have made F1 and the juggernaut it is now. And suddenly it's like, bam, yep, that's worth more. Boom, I called it. So just so smart. So smart.
100%. I have nothing to add to that. I'll cheer him on because he actually did live down the road in California for a bit from me. So I'm excited for him and I want to see continued success. I still think back to the day that Chip Ganassi announced that they were sold to Trackhouse, and I was like, what? It was the biggest news story. I feel like probably since I started like actually really being into NASCAR since 2020. So
yeah, I also like how you pointed out that he lived near you, apparently.
That makes me excited. It makes me want to cheer him on. That's why I get excited for him.
I also am so distracted this whole time because all I do is look at AJ just looking off in the distance, and he looks like a scared deer in the headlights at times.
I'm just watching you guys talk about Justin Marks.
You know what? Great point,
nothing
Parker.
to add.
Let's just do
that. Yeah. I mean, you know,
it's easier that way.
Wait, can you guys still hear
This
me?
isn't a group
Yeah,
chat.
we
It's
still
Parker
hear
and
you.
Josh hanging out.
Yeah. AJ,
Who's that other
you
guy?
guys
Do
just
you
go
hear him?
hang out. Just talk about how much you love Justin Marks. Okay, I'm just gonna sit over here.
Right.
Okay.
That's our school. Okay, I like him. All right, he won in Mid-Ohio.
I'll bring you out.
I was at Mid-Ohio when he won. That's my Justin Marks story.
Neat.
Wow.
That's
that was said with such passion.
I like
think it's remarkable.
You see, I feel you guys think that I don't like I like Justin Marks. Okay, let's just get on the same page here. All right.
So Parker, I've heard rumors that you're going to actually run full time for Trackhouse Racing next year. Is this
really
true? Yeah.
Of course. Yeah, all these things are true. Always
great.
You read on the internet.
Phenomenal. Yeah. Make sure to text him afterwards to say, "Hey, there's rumors swirling."
That is.
Let's talk.
Yeah. I don't know how you guys figure that out, but yeah, it's just so true. It's amazing.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. No,
for sure.
I have absolutely. There's zero of those things out there that were true. So I don't know what I'm racing
every time you say that.
What's that?
You're just digging a hole every time you say that.
So
now I don't believe you even more.
So I saw that in some comments recently where they're like, he denied it, which means it's true. It's like, no.
Boski tweeted. Did you see Boski's tweet the other day?
No, the best part is I had to talk to people. So that stupid tweet, right? Which is very kind that they would put that out there, but it's what it is what it is. People in the racing world, so much so from the TV side, I had to go talk to and say, hey, this isn't true. Like this, I don't know
You're talking about the fake, what's the account called? Daily Race Force.
Daily Downforwards or something like that?
It's not Daily Downforwards. It's like another one. It's like a knockoff.
It's another
Daily
one
Downforwards.
News and rumors. I don't know which one it was. But anyway, it's like the internet. People just take whatever they see and say, oh, that's gospel, right? If it's written the right way or in a competent way. It's like, I had to go to literally my producers and people, bosses in the TV world and be like, hey, that's not true. I've had no discussions. So it's like, this is so ridiculous. Very flattered, but no, it's just not.
There's another tweet the other day that Bozy tweeted about, he's like, oh, there's an all-star card behind Raja's. And I thought that was funny.
Look,
so I was like, well, if Bozy's saying it, it's got to be true.
Well, I mean, I personally don't believe Parker. And for anybody listening out there,
I don't either.
I don't believe Parker.
I believe Bozy more than Parker.
This is blasphemy.
I feel like I am on good accord to say that I know nothing. And Parker, whatever happens next year, I'm excited for you. Just whatever you do not allow it to interfere with our recording schedule. I'm already losing my mind with Landon. I can't lose my mind with you two. So
no, I know. We're gonna keep it going. We do such a good job on this. I can't believe anyone listens to the show.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's insane because we can barely get it out there ever, which might be the secret sauce. I don't know. People try really hard. We just somehow get all these cameras and things to turn on and through the internet create a show, which never makes any sense to me. So we appreciate you all listening though, which is
I think
great.
people like the laid back honesty that you and Landon have. Or it's like, hey, Landon.
Well, you just called me.
Hey, Landon, did you watch the F1 race this weekend? And it's like, there's an F1 race this weekend? Most people wouldn't say that on their podcast, but Landon's just real, So
well,
he'll
it's
say
a show. Not a podcast.
Sorry.
Jeez. which we have been called out. You know, you edited that intro video, and we've been called out because we call it a podcast.
I need the update. I need to fix the intro. Yeah.
Yeah, we do. We need to. There's a lot of things we need to fix. I think the link on our Twitter still goes to our old site.
That old site should redirect to the new site. So if something's going
the
on
link
there,
tree that we don't have anymore.
Oh no!
Right?
You don't. What? We don't.
There's no way.
Boy. Oh man.
No, I just saw it the other day. I've called you guys out on this multiple times. I just don't even know how to log into the Twitter.
Where did you call us out on this?
In our group chat. Literally the thing we're doing right now that we do on text all the time.
All
this is how well run
right now.
Parker.
Parker. Money Lab.
Parker, question for you.
What?
You are the historian here. Is this the widest points gap going into Martinsville for the Champ 4 in the Cup Series?
I don't know about that, but what I can say, so yeah, let's move into Martinsville. Good call. What I can say is that it is of these top 8, they are the most successful 8 drivers in the next gen era at Martinsville, which is pretty crazy. So you have every one of them has won at Martinsville. I believe that's true. I'm trying to remember all my stats here.
I know that at least the bottom 4 have.
Yeah, well, I think every single one has won at Martinsville.
Okay.
But they're the leaders in top 5s and top 10s in the next gen era. Laps led, everything. Like every metric, these 8 drivers and teams are the leaders at Martinsville in the next gen era. So it's pretty wild, right? It's in many respects, it's like a heavyweight title fight. And I think every one of them is basically capable of winning this upcoming weekend. So if you're in a Denny Hamlin position or Chase Briscoe, winning obviously stops the Penske cars from getting through, which I listened to Chase Briscoe on Dale Jr. Download. And, you know, that was a question because if you remember back at New Hampshire, the Joe Gibbs guys after that race were like, well, if Penske gets to Phoenix, just hand them the trophy. Like they're basically just conceding the championship because they're like, we are not even close to these guys at this style of track. They have that opportunity to stop them because basically Blaney and Logano both have to win, right, to get in. So I thought that was, you know, for those guys, that's pretty interesting. If you're in Larson or Bell's position, you know, you are trying to win to solidify yourself in there because as long as none of those guys in the bottom 4 win, then you're basically through, right? So that's why you're pushing in their position. They're also racing each other because they're only 1 point apart. So if there is a new winner, then those two become the battle, right? So if at some point you get late in the race, 50 to go, and William Byron's leading, it's going to be a points battle between Christopher Bell and Kyle Larson, right? So that's kind of wild. And, you know, you got Chase Elliott in there, who is really good at Martinsville. No doubt about it. So it's going to be, I think it's a crazy fight. One of the craziest we've seen. And if this is the last time we see this situation, obviously with this format, it could go out with a bang, I would think, in some respects.
Yeah. I said the other day in the group chat, I was like, man, this is like, as much as people hate the playoffs, this is like pretty compelling going into Martinsville.
I think so.
I also argued that
if no.
Oh well, I said you're absolutely betting on the fact that these four are competitive and in the front at the race, because if they're not, which with this new left side tire that's coming to Martinsville, you know, we've seen that crazy changes can cause crazy influences, and we've also seen that crazy changes absolutely do nothing for the race. I'm just gonna say it's a big points gap. You're Kyle Larson, you're Christopher Bell, you're racing one other driver. You really don't give a crap what anyone else is doing out there, because if they win the race, it doesn't matter. You're only 1 point behind. The true cutoff line in my eyes is 1 point between Bell and Larson, and everyone else is in a must-win scenario. Yeah. I don't think anyone's pointing their way forward unless Larson or Bell crash out, which, you know, that's certainly possible. I just know that Bell and Larson, they're going to be racing each other, and then everyone else is going to be feast or famine. So that could result in exciting racing. I just really miss that Matt Kenseth isn't a part of the field anymore, because I feel like that would be pretty entertaining.
Well, okay, putting that aside, I'm going to add one more factor. You mentioned the left side tire. The weather this upcoming weekend looks incredibly cold, like one of those chilly Martinsville nights. So could this have the reaction of Bristol, right? Could you have, could you have like required green flag stops at Martinsville, which would be anarchy? We've seen green flag stops before, but like in the succession that we've seen at Bristol, no, never. Usually you want a hot race where the rubber lays down, and it kind of becomes where I feel like that's where Blaney excels massively, is long run, rubber has laid down, he wraps the curb so incredibly well. He takes care of his rear tires incredibly well. Like when you watch him in those last two that he's won, it's those long runs where he just continually like gets further away from people through the run, almost similar to SVG at the road courses is the way I think about it. So but like you mentioned, new left side tire, super cold temps. Who knows what you get? I don't know.
Yeah.
Usually cold temps at Martinsville was a bad thing, but can we get similar things happening to Bristol? I assume not, because it's not as an abrasive surface. But you never know.
Yeah, there's not as much banking. You're not putting as much lateral load on the tire because you don't have as much banking, right? That's physics behind that.
Plus the surface isn't as abrasive either.
Okay.
So, but no, you're 100% correct. The load is entirely different for sure. Yeah. AJ's over there nodding his head. No, you can't.
Yeah, the load. Yeah, the coefficient, all that stuff.
Yeah, for sure. The slip angle.
You did try to pull the Landon, by the way, where Landon takes to do nonverbal communication on an audio-based show.
Well, sometimes there's like a little delay. So if I say and then like you stop talking because like you think I'm cutting you off, even though I'm just saying So I'm trying to be better about that.
I never think you cut me off.
Okay.
Well,
I can cut you off now.
For the true audio experience, AJ, how's that car deal that you're currently working going? You're selling a car right now. That's what Landon does while we record our podcast. He's actually wheeling and dealing.
Oh, yes. Yeah. Well, actually, Parker, I did just go and look. The link on our Twitter goes to themoneylap.com. Okay, really? If you want to go look. And I totally didn't just update that.
Yeah, I knew it. I knew it. Real time, things are changing here at the Money Lab. We're getting, things are getting, it's going to be
getting our ducks in order.
Yeah, it's going to be different around here, guys. Completely. Hey, guys.
Yo.
Did you know, if you're a fan, a racing fan like us, you have got to check out what? Spoiler Diecast. These guys are crushing it right now. Spoiler Diecast is one of the fastest growing diecast and racing merch companies out there. And for good reason. They ship same or next day. So your order isn't sitting in limbo forever. And their selection, you might ask? It's massive. Over 1,900 products. We're pretty convinced that might be even low. They're over 2,000 now. It's mostly NASCAR like us, but they've got dirt, sprint cars, IndyCar, and even F1. And right now, they are offering free shipping on any orders over $100.
Wait,
and you
but
get
Parker,
what?
But what if I have room in my closet? Do they also have stuff that I can wear?
You do. So if you spend over $100 and you use our code, you get a free NASCAR t-shirt of a random driver. You just comment your preferred size in the order notes. So whether you're hunting down a rare piece or just looking to rep your favorite driver or some random driver like Josh, go to spoilerdiecast.com, use code MONEYLAP, and take advantage of the free shipping and a free shirt while it lasts. That's been running for a minute, so I don't know how many free shirts they have left. But go check out spoilerdiecast.com. They make all this possible. We appreciate them. They're growing like crazy, and somehow we're still growing. I can't believe people listen to this, nonetheless.
Did you see that your car in NASCAR 25, you're your own sponsor?
I did see that.
Oh, yeah.
I had quite a viral tweet off of that, by the way.
Parker Kligerman 75.
Does that feel weird, like growing up, you're probably playing like the EA games and like Rusty Wallace's car said Rusty Wallace or something?
Yeah, Dale said
and now
Dale.
you have one.
I know. Yeah. It was cool. It's obviously because you can't have alcohol branding in a game, which I thought, that's awesome. I didn't know they were doing that, though. So when I saw it, I was as shocked as everyone else, and I just didn't think about it. And the person who posted it was like, this is awesome. And I wrote, nothing goes better with your movie than a nice cold Parker Kligerman. And then the tweets below that, all the responses got pretty not suitable for work. And
I'm telling you, there's a market out there, man.
I had to show my girlfriend. She was like, "Oh no, oh no."
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking right now.
People are weird.
It got weird. And the internet got real weird with it. So I appreciate the support of the joke and that people like to drink a drink called Parker Kligerman, but no plans to make that anytime soon.
I have a question. You know him better than I do. What if next year you pitch to Scott Borchetta, you run the Parker Kligerman car in real life?
Maybe. You never know. We are working, the 75 team. We did our last race this past weekend at Talladega. We had a crank sensor wire fail, which was annoying because they changed it that week because Ilmore's had some issues with these.
Mm-hmm.
And they replaced it on Wednesday as in hopes to avoid that situation. And then with 13 to go, we're in the middle of the pack. We were trying to link up with the front row trucks because we'd all somehow gone the back. I think we pitted to get tires. And so Chandler Smith and I had worked well together, Lane Riggs. And so we all coordinated with our spotters. We're like, all right, we're linking up. We're going to the top. Let's go to the front of this thing. And we were kind of struggling on the top. And I kind of noticed something was maybe wrong for a second. So I dived to the middle through 1 and 2. And then suddenly in the middle of the pack, my engine shuts off.
Uh-oh.
And Earl's like, inside, outside. Oh my God. Did that on the radio. And I was like, that's not helping. It's going left and right around me. So then I flip everything off, all the electronics, turn it back on, the engine refires, and I was able to do that for 2 or 3 laps. I'm like, something's wrong. I don't see anything on the dash, but this thing just keeps shutting off. And then eventually it got worse and worse. And so I was like, all right, guys, I got to come in. And we opened it, and really Ilmore did it super quickly. If we had a caution, we wouldn't have gone down 2 laps where we did. And we went 2 laps down. So they did it super fast. They knew exactly what to do, which was pretty impressive. And then we get back out there, and it was 3 or 4 to go. Eventually, at some point after I was riding around, the pack was coming towards us. And I don't know if they would have caught me by the end, but I was like, hey.
Oh, yeah.
Guys, I'm pulling over. And so I just pulled over and ran through the pit road because I was like, hey, if I was in their position, I wouldn't want that truck riding around in front of us, and I didn't want to influence the outcome. So I got out of the way, which I thought was the gentlemanly thing to do. And so I don't even know where we finished, but it rounded out our season. It was a pretty good microcosm of our season because we have had, since 45 minutes after Daytona, it has been the weirdest year for us at the 75 team. We've broken so much stuff. We have had races where we just weren't fast, like Charlotte. We at the road courses had a lot of issues and broke a ton of stuff in the rear of that truck twice at 2 road courses. And so yeah, we had speed. I mean, Rockingham, we failed the left rear hub when we were in position to win it, fuel wise, and the truck who ended up winning was on our same strategy, and we were ahead of them. So I was like, well, that sucks.
That sucks.
So anyway, yeah, it's been a tough time, but we're working on trying to do it again next year. Similar amount of races, most likely. There's 5 road courses, 2 street courses next year that I'd love to be a part of. So we're trying to make that happen, but we'll see.
By the way, I did hear, so I was reading, I think we had this discussion. I don't know if it was on off podcast or whatnot, about off show about the San Diego weekend. The Friday is only for service members. Saturday and Sunday's open to everybody.
That's right. And you guys, remember, you guys were chirping at me.
Oh, no. Not you guys. It was Josh. I was on your side, buddy.
No. I brought that up.
Well, you did say the whole race is not available. The whole weekend is service members only. And I'm like, I can buy tickets. What are you talking about?
I knew some portion was. And you guys were like, that's the stupidest thing I ever heard. You're an idiot. And I was like, okay, guys. All right.
I mean,
well, so I was partially correct for those keeping score at home. Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm getting clapped right now. Anyone listening is clapping for me, just so you know.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to let them finish clapping. We can just sit here in silence until then.
So you can go on Saturdays for the Xfinity race and the Cup
And
race.
Sunday.
Truck is
Yes.
service members and their family only. Okay.
Yeah.
So it's
I
official.
wonder if like does that mean people who sponsor trucks that weekend too that aren't service members can't go? Like, do they not get passes? Like, are they told
I don't know about that part, but I know it's a
that's
holiday.
Gonna be interesting,
right? It's a holiday, which I can't remember which one. Oh, is it July 4th?
It's in June.
On July 4th.
Oh,
No,
okay.
it's
I
in
remember.
June.
Couldn't remember the reason. There's some
so
reason
cool,
they
the
have
July
reduced
4th weekend.
personnel on the base, so that's why they did it that way, I guess.
That'd be the most patriotic NASCAR event ever. It's on a naval base on July 4th weekend.
It's gonna be epic.
No offense to Daytona. I know
No,
people
it's
love
gonna be
Daytona.
epic. Dude, did you see? So they put out the course, and it goes by aircraft carriers if they're there.
Wow.
Yeah.
I heard
June
June 19th.
They're
only
I hope they're
there
there.
if we're in peacetime or like how their schedule works. But I thought that would be the coolest visual.
You need June 19th is when that is. So let's check the calendar. June 19th.
At least somebody knows the dates
one
of
of
things.
one of the public holidays. I can't remember.
Juneteenth.
Yes, that one.
Yes, there you go.
Father's Day is the 21st.
Okay.
So we'll be racing on Father's Day on a naval base. That's exciting. That'll be cool. That'll be fun.
Okay.
Wonder if they'll bring out the Blue Angels. I think they talked about it already. They said that they're going to be there. I wonder if they're going to do the flyover. That'd be cool. That'd be really neat.
Yeah. Let's talk about the lawsuit. There was some things that happened. Josh is our resident lawyer here, but they did try to go. So this is the lawsuit between NASCAR 2311 and FRM. They did try to. They did some settlement talks last couple of days, and then they went into a summary judgment. And the lawyer for 2311 and FRM put out a pretty strongly worded statement, basically saying we're going to trial on this. Looking forward to trial. So doesn't look like they came to the settlement that many of the team owners were hoping for. I don't know if there's still time for that sort of thing, but I'm sure there is. But this seems like it's possibly going to head all the way, which is pretty wild.
They did say that Judge Bell, not Christopher Bell, dressed up in Judge's outfit, which that's every time I see that, I get that same visualization that he's just there on Halloween using the gavel, being like, all right. He said everyone acted in good faith to settle the case. But there is no settlement in place after Tuesday and Wednesday. So they're moving forward with the summary judgment process. For those who don't know what summary judgment is, it's the person overlooking the case can basically make a decision and say whether or not this case can just be judged on immediately based off of the information presented as is, or whether or not it needs to go to trial for further deliberation and potentially a jury to be involved for making a decision, so on and so forth. So essentially, this could mean that the case could be a decision on portions of the case, or the entire case could be decided on going in before even the December 1st trial, from what I remember from my mom, who is a lawyer, and what she's taught me. But the likelihood is I think it is very murky, and based off of what Judge Bell has said in the past about them probably wanting to settle, is I personally feel like there probably won't be any major changes before that December 1st case. That's my guess from what I've seen of him talking.
Well, that was a good summary. Thank you. I get some of it. I think so. I've had a pretty consistent thought on this, which is that it is definitely, I think the continued sentiment is that it's, detrimental at this time, but it seems like these two teams are motivated to keep going all the way. And so we'll see what happens. What were you going to say, AJ?
So are we we're past the whole, like, hey, you can have a charter now. No, you can't. Because for like 2 months, it was like, hey, yeah, the judge said you can keep your charters. And then like a week later, it's like, actually, that was appealed. Okay, now this different judge is saying that you can't have the charters. Okay, now we're appealing that too. They officially can't have, oh my gosh, I said my mic, I'm sorry. So they officially can't have their charters.
Right now,
unless they like
don't.
win somehow.
Yeah, so they as it stands, NASCAR made changes to the rules that would essentially not put them in jeopardy of not being able to start if they fail to qualify on speed and more than
Does that carry into next season as well?
I haven't
Well,
looked at the rules, but
I think that's the trial. Like, they have to go to trial, and
Yeah.
then it'll all be just figured out.
Oh, okay, we're good.
Yeah.
Okay,
But
I'm
like
up
the
to date.
judge has said, basically this could remove the charter system altogether. So kind of crazy.
Oh boy.
It'd be crazy, crazy times. We will see. Totally wild. Let's talk Xfinity Series, guys. Raja Karuth was announced to be doing a partial schedule at Junior Motorsports next year. And it sounds like he'll also be filling out that schedule with races at Jordan Anderson Racing. So between the two, running a full season. I think this is a similar thing that obviously Carson Quapple's trying to do. So we could have multiple drivers trying to do full seasons on multiple teams. Welcome to modern day NASCAR.
It's so weird, dude. I love it, but it's like, why put all your eggs in one basket? Get a car that isn't necessarily competitive every single week for all the weeks that you're not going to be competitive, and then get a really fast car for the weeks that you think you are going to be competitive.
I feel like it's been going on for a while though. This isn't that new, is it?
No,
I feel like 2015 there were drivers doing this.
It's not crazily new, especially in the playoff era. It makes a lot of sense because if you think about it, as long as you have enough races, to Josh's point, where you think you're going to be competitive in the really good, call it Class A car, right? And you can win a race, that gets you in the playoffs. Then you just need to run be at every race to be eligible for playoffs. And then if you can time it that you're in that good car in the playoffs, then it works out really well. And for, I think for a lot of people, obviously it comes down to dollars and cents. And it might be that you only have X amount of sponsorship, or that Class A team only has X amount of races open that you can get. And so you're looking at saying, well, I can take a major portion of my sponsorship and run at this top tier team for X amount of races, which can get me in the playoffs. And then I can run that car in the playoffs, but I've got to fill out these other races with just driving something, right? You just have to attempt every race to be eligible for the playoffs, and therefore obviously not have to spend as much money, and, combine a full season and have a chance at a championship with probably on a lesser amount of sponsorship than you would if you just straight up went to JRM for a whole year, or Joe Gibbs. So it's not new, but I think, the playoff format makes it a more realistic thing. Whereas if, say, we were doing just a straight up 33 race season, I don't think you'd see as much of this, because it wouldn't really be as big a chance, right? You're not going to have a chance to win a championship if you're running a third of the races or more, half the races in a lesser car sort of thing. So that would be really, really tough. So I think this format leads itself to that.
It's surprising to me how long it took for the Sumeta to really kind of become a thing. I feel like for a while, everyone was on the idea of sign big deals. I think one of the first people that I think kind of tapped in to show, put yourself in a fast car for a couple of races, really show your worth. I think back to Ross Chastain in the 42 Chip Ganassi car. Really fast, really good performance. Ended up getting himself locked in for the 42 for a full season because of that. But I think over time, I foresee this becoming a more popular thing to do. Take your full season budget, divvy it into like a quarter or a half to go towards 24 races here, and then 8 here, and just make it work. I think it's really cool. It's really smart.
Well, and we saw it even before this, not in a full season capacity, but think back to Ryan Prix and going to Gibbs for 2 races, right? He had just enough money. He was like, I'm just going to put all my eggs in this basket. He had done the Johnny Davis Motorsports stuff, and he was like, I'm just going to do these 2 races and see if I can win. And what did he do? He won. It got him into the Cup Series, and now he's been Cup for a very long time. So
Ryan Truex has won 2 Xfinity races basically by doing the same model of just, let's commit to being in a really fast car at a track that I'm really darn good at, and we'll see how it goes. I love it.
He won
It's awesome.
3.
3. I'm sorry.
He won
Ryan,
Daytona.
I did not mean to disgrace your name.
Yeah,
That's
you
on me,
and
I apologize.
Ryan, you and Ryan are both Daytona winners. Like,
And
but he
Ryan
won,
Reed.
I was going to say both this year, but he won last year, I think. 24 for sure.
Yeah, because I won this year.
Yeah.
Oh, same summer race?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I
wait,
couldn't
thanks for paying
remember.
attention, AJ.
Well, technically you didn't win this year, but you know.
Damn. That's crazy.
Should we talk about what else is happening in the Xfinity series?
I don't have it in the show notes, but I have something that I want to talk about in the Xfinity series, but you go ahead.
No,
Ooh,
you go
same
first.
thing.
You go first.
William Suárez is not going to be racing this weekend because he was unfortunately transported to the hospital for a concussion. It appears, and is going to be taking this weekend off. And the driver whose name escapes me, who was supposed to actually be in Eric Almirola's car,
Justin
playoffs,
Bonsignor.
that guy.
Yep.
Shout out to him, another Justin. We love that. He will be driving the 18 instead. So there you go.
And for William, it was the wreck at Talladega, a pretty hard wreck, where a car came up and sort of squished him between the wall and the car. And so those are some of the hardest hits you'll have, because you're not expecting it, so you can't, sort of get ready for that hit. And this is also a thing that is newer to NASCAR in the last decade, basically. Concussion protocol. So he's out with concussion-like symptoms, which obviously the smart thing to do is to stay out of the race car and not make that worse. So I think it's a smart thing to do. It does bring up a topic that we've been meaning to talk about on this very show for the last couple of weeks, and we've talked about full season formats, right? And I had this discussion with some people in NASCAR recently because I said, hey, wait, the one thing we're not thinking about, besides what Landon brought up last couple of weeks, which is the manufacturer stuff, that we haven't raced a full season in the era where manufacturers have so much power and control, and have, if you want to see how bad that can get, go watch a DTM 2018 and earlier, where it was Mercedes, BMW versus each other, and they basically would say this car is going to win the championship, and all of you else are just there to help this car win the championship, sort of thing. And that would go on all season. So I'm telling you, that could be a possibility right now with how powerful the OEMs are. But on the other side of that, the concussion protocol has not existed, or did not exist back in the full season era. And so, with the way this is designed now, you can miss races, you get a waiver, you still make the playoffs, you have a chance to win a championship, right? There's been some discussion, and some people were trying to figure out, okay, well, now with a full season deal, do you have to have a drop race or two, right? So in the event that you have had a medical issue, concussion protocol, which concussions are very, as much as they try to science it out with the tests that we do and all the other tests that you can do with doctors, that sort of thing, it's definitely a subjective call in terms of you have to sort of say, I don't feel right? I don't feel normal. I'm not, there's something wrong. And so, in the years past, you had to drive when it was last time it was full season, where you had to you couldn't miss a race. So you never said anything. And that's what was, when Dale sat out, that was a big moment because you just didn't do that before then. And obviously this is a safer way to do things, and it's better for the health of the drivers. But if you go back to a full season right now with this concussion protocol, now that that's just, what am I trying to say? That's here now.
Mm-hmm.
You could be put in a position where you are taken out of the car and it wasn't your choice. So that's definitely something that is, I think, on the mind of many people in terms of if you went back to a full season, what that would look like. So
is there any other I was thinking about this as well. Here's my idea. What if, like, instead of having drop races, whoever is your backup driver in that car, you get that backup driver gets the full points, but you get half points.
That's a way to do it. Yeah. I think all those,
maybe
if it went to a full
idea.
season, you'd have to have something like that, because
then it's hey, you better have some pretty dang good backup drivers, you know?
And now the
What
backup
if-
drivers become really valuable, like backup
Ooh.
QBs.
Yeah.
You know, and
That,
to
that
that
would be
point,
neat.
you can't relate it to other sports because there are not other sports like this where, you know, in football or NBA or soccer, it's a team, right, trying to win. So the team continues on. In this case, there is owner
Why
points,
not?
but we don't talk about that. It's all about the driver. So
Which
They're not
I'm gonna
treat it like other sports.
I'm gonna say we need to be.
you want to treat it like
We-
other sports?
At least in that aspect. Maybe not the stupid playoffs, but you know. I'm just kidding. I love the playoffs, NASCAR. I love you. I love playoffs.
Do you not? What? No. AJ is not paid by NASCAR. I don't know why he would say that.
As far as you know, I'm not.
Oh well, this is suddenly getting confusing.
Whoa.
Whoa.
No, I'm not. I'm not. I vehemently trash talk the playoffs all the time. I go back and forth. Like some weeks I'm like, man, this is so cool, and the other weeks I'm like, man, I wish Ryan Blaney had like an 8 race lead on the field right now, or whoever, Christopher Bell, whoever would be the points leader.
No,
anyway, I'm
it
sorry, I
actually-
cut you off.
It would actually be super tight. I've seen all the there's, you know, depending on how you look, which point system you use, though, it would be like really tight. I think.
Oh, don't bring that up. dude.
You're gonna
Don't say
trigger
that.
Landon.
Yeah, I know.
Um,
He's gonna be like, "Oh, it's not how they race. It doesn't matter. It's BS."
Which is
blah
fair.
blah. I
It's
know. I'm
true.
just saying the facts are. If you look at the points, if you go to the Racing Reference one, or shout out to my buddies at Racing Insights because they're gonna hit me for saying Racing Reference. You look at those or the guys that post on Twitter. It's really close right now. So, which is
Well, I for one am looking forward to the full season points format coming back, and if it doesn't, I'm driving right on over to Concord from California, and I'm gonna have a sign out in front of NASCAR or the NASCAR Productions facility, and
Okay.
they're gonna have to Photoshop me out of all of the announcements that they have from there on forward.
There you go.
seems like a great use of your time. I love the dedication.
That would be kind of.
There's many people that
That would
appreciate
be
you
pretty funny.
for all the hills to die on in the world and all the things happening. Josh is out there fighting against championship formats.
Rain or
So-
shine, snow or sleet, I'm gonna
Have
be
you
out
seen
there
that-
with a sign that says.
Have you
"Give me
seen that?
36
There's like an Instagram page of these guys who like they protest outside of the Bean in Chicago. They're like, there's a man in the Bean.
Yes.
Yeah. I was like, oh, that's so funny. I want to just like go to like outside of like Talladega and just like picket fence, like get rid of the next gen or like move the number back on the next gen, like put the number back where it was. Just a waste of time, but it'd be pretty funny. Like imagine pulling into Talladega and there's some guy protesting outside about the number placement on the next gen.
I think I've seen it. I've seen some of those signs. Those signs,
Oh,
like if we
they
still had
exist?
like a race day show sort of thing, I bet you'd see those signs.
Oh, those were the days.
We
Those were
need
the
those
best,
back.
man.
We just
man.
need that back.
And, instead, we just
well-
do stupid shows like this.
Are we,
What if
are
we-
we moving on from Xfinity?
No, I was going to say more things.
Okay,
There's
I was
go.
other
gonna say
things
more things.
happening
Go.
that I know about.
Rapid fire. Go.
Yeah, I was going to say is there's other things coming in the Xfinity series. Lots of cool new things, I think, in some respects. There's going to be some new teams that I'm hearing that are going to be joining the Xfinity series. So that's pretty interesting. I think some of your current teams are expanding in size. And I've heard numbers like 28 to 30 full-time drivers and full-time teams. Obviously, I think there's more full-time teams than that. They'll be full field. But in terms of like at Daytona, how many drivers and teams will say, hey, we'll run the full season sort of thing. So pretty healthy times in that sense, which is pretty wild. But I thought that it's going to be interesting. I think there's a lot of movement that you'll hear in the next couple weeks that will come out in terms of drivers moving teams. And this is not very specific, but I think the new teams is the most interesting thing. There will be some new teams.
Yeah, Parker was like, hey, I want to talk about this cool stuff in Xfinity, and then like he
They
just didn't say anything at all.
Nothing. Well,
Wait,
congratulations.
hold on.
There's a whole lot of
I-
nothing.
I'm
I just
excited
told
for
you there's a bunch of stuff coming. I know. I hate that.
Just one
But
team.
just the
Just one
announcement
team.
of the announcement.
I think
Leak
Uh,
one team.
I think there's a team, a
Leak
Ford
something.
team that's being acquired.
Okay.
There you go.
Okay, I'll take it.
I think there
Alright.
will be a Ford team next year.
Well,
I'd hope so.
that's
So
it seems
I think
important
you
for an
have
OEM to be in the
some of the
series.
what's that?
I said I think it's important for a major OEM like Ford, who's been in all series, to
Yeah,
continue
well,
to stay in
The
the
way
series.
things were leaning, there wasn't going to be one. I really believe.
Ooh.
So
Oh wow.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
they always cave.
Yeah, we
they'll
know
find
that.
a way.
There's
They'll
going to
find
be
a
a
way.
Ford
They
performance.
love
Obviously,
racing too
HFT
much
was
over at
the
Ford.
main Ford leading team, and then you had the Siegs. But I think that may be different next year. So,
Well, that's exciting to hear.
yeah.
All right, so you
go.
and Landon are starting a team. Who's your driver?
We actually got. I'll just put this out there. We were asked to potentially be a part of a group that was getting a team, and we said no, thank you. But it's not right. It's not, the timing's not right.
I'm just going to be honest with you.
I'm one of the main broadcasters for the series, so that would be a massive.
The old Tom Brady problem.
Yeah,
it would be a conflict of interest in a lot of respects. And I think I think financially it's obviously not the right time for that. So I couldn't be driving too. It's just too much going on.
You could have forwarded the email to AJ and I. We are ready to invest and start a NASCAR team.
Yeah,
we were ready.
Put together some money.
Yeah,
and we're ready to invest.
I just 2 weeks ago sold all my skins on CS:GO and then CS2 right before the crash, the $2 billion market crash. So I got some Yeah. Oh yeah.
What happened?
We'll have to talk about. I guess it's not motorsports related.
Yeah,
I'm curious though. What are you talking
about? Valve, the people who manage Counter-Strike, have adjusted how the skin system works, now allowing you to essentially take 5 skins of a class below and trade them in to become a knife now, when knife is the top class. Previously, the only way to acquire knives were directly from essentially a loot box mechanic in which you put a key into a crate and you had some percent chance to get a knife. And knives,
like
some
open
knives,
pack Pokemon cards.
It essentially they made it.
Parker looked confused.
Essentially, they made it so that you could essentially trade in skins to get a knife, where previously the only way to get knives were by sheer luck and chance. So yeah, and now
Parker, you have a pack of NASCAR cards. You want the Jeff Gordon fire suit patch card, and you can trade in 5 random Parker Kligerman cards for that Jeff Gordon patch.
Yeah.
Instead of buying them. So they wiped out. So what you're saying is they wiped out $2 billion in market cap.
Yeah.
Overnight.
Previously it was 6 billion.
Sure
now it's 4 billion.
There's probably like a silly crypto thing as well.
It's like NFTs all over again.
No, it's literally NFTs, and you hated NFTs, and it's literally what you are trading is NFTs. That is so
but
funny.
I can't put NFTs on my cool gun and video game.
What's to say they wouldn't take those skins and create them in NFTs?
So they probably have.
Yeah, they definitely have. It's probably running on blockchain tech.
Well, so anyways,
this is a real diversion from everything.
This is a complete diversion.
You said you wanted to hear about it.
No, I was. I was curious.
There you go.
This is good stuff.
That's the latest in the
Danny
gaming
Hamlin
news
is
on the
definitely
group
not
chat
watching
episode.
at this point.
Yeah.
No, he's definitely.
Danny Hamlin tuned out.
We got 0 listeners and watchers at this point, so that's great. This is perfect. This is just for us. We're just chatting now.
Yeah.
I have one more Xfinity thing I wanted to talk about.
Okay.
Oh, what is that? You're bringing.
I don't know if you had any more, but yeah, I got a good one for you. Because there was a after Connor Zilic won at Daytona, you had like a little toast at JRM, like a little video. And in the video, you're like, oh man, it'd be really crazy if like there were 4 JRM cars in the final 4. And there is the possibility where that could happen.
Yeah.
It's a long shot.
Yep.
Carson Kloppel's got to make up 29 points on Jesse Love, and Sammy Smith probably got to win, or Jesse Love needs to have a really bad race, basically.
Yep. I think it's possible, though. It is possible. It's not out of the question that Junior Motorsports could lock up the championship this weekend for their company in the driver points.
That'd be crazy.
What is wild is that you only have 2 open spots on the owner's points. So they would basically lock up, they would have the driver's title, but then they would still be racing against the 19 and the 21 for the owner's title, which is kind of crazy. So it could be absolutely wild at Phoenix in that sense. You might have essentially, I guess at this point you'll have 6 cars racing for 2 championships.
And, just like looking at Martinsville, all of these drivers are really good at Martinsville. Like Connor Zilic is obviously going to be good because he's good everywhere. Allgaier, Love, Kvapil. He's a short track guy. Sammy Smith, Brandon Jones he's Joe Gibbs, he's won there, I'm pretty sure, with Joe Gibbs before. And then can you imagine, it's like late race, 3 laps to go. You got Sam Mayer, Sheldon Creed in the top 5. They need to win. Brandon Jones is like leading. It's getting dark out.
Yep.
We're coming to a green-white checkered. It's going to be
boy.
The Xfinity Martinsville races are probably my favorite races in NASCAR every year. It's the races I look forward to the most. I was offered to go to a Ren Fair this weekend with my friends, and I was like, no, because the Xfinity Martinsville race this weekend, I'm staying home and I'm watching it.
Love to hear that.
I love that so much.
Yeah.
It is
going to be great.
Your discussion right there has made me look at the playoff points and the playoff picture for the truck series as well. And I'm noticing something concerning for one of our OEMs. Parker, you said it previously.
No Chevys?
You're talking about the fact that Ford may not make the Final Four in the Cup Series. There is a distinct possibility if after Friday night, neither Ty Majeski or Lane Riggs lock themselves into the Final Four or the Champ Four, that Ford does not make a single Champ Four appearance this year in any top series.
Good point. Wow. It's pretty nuts.
Yeah, because they've been on a roll for years now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's ever. I remember it used to be Ford when it was back at Miami. It used to be Ford Championship weekend. So
maybe
that would be
next
insane.
Year.
Oh
They're
my God,
saving up for next year.
That is pretty nuts. Wow. And they're making big investments in the F1 world right now, but that is it's not good. That's not what they would want to see by any means. None of these OEMs. We talk about how much control and power they have and how much they invest now. That is that's not a good time. They will be coming back in 26 with a vengeance, most likely, especially in the Cup Series and the trucks. Not sure about Xfinity, but we'll see. So, yeah, that's pretty nuts, man. Good point. Good points all around. I think in just back to the Xfinity Series at Martinsville, in the spring we had the run. It was a pretty, let's just say, messy race. And then we got down to the end, and obviously Sammy Smith takes out Taylor Gray. And, after that race, NASCAR actually sat down all the drivers and did a meeting and basically was like, hey, that was too much. Like, what are you guys doing? And they actually are having a meeting with them before the race this coming weekend as well. So do I think that will have a massive effect?
On.
No, I mean, here's the thing. Do I think that have a massive effect? No, because the way those cars are, and what's on the line and the opportunity, the risk versus reward is so lopsided to reward that you will still see crazy moves and aggression because
it's what they wanted
to offer.
I can't believe that
they wanted with this format. They can't roll it back now.
No. I think they.
I like it.
There was moments that were just over the top in the spring race, right? And from the beginning, really. And so I think it's that stuff. But in terms of, the playoff drivers going for the opportunity to race for a championship versus not, I mean, the reward outweighs the risk by 1,000x.
Yeah.
So
I don't love when races turn into like wreck fests like that, but I don't hate it as much as a lot of people do. I'm just like, yep, let's go, boys. Let's rack them up again. Here we go.
Yep.
I'm all for the chaos. I will say NASCAR chose the wrong time to sit them all down. I think they really needed to sit them down after this week and tell them that if you're waiting to make a move out of turn 4 to try and beat Austin Hill on a super speedway, you have already lost the race.
Hey,
I do it at 2.
I was preaching it the entire day from the pre-race, in the race. I was like, if you're going to beat this guy, you can't help him. And people help him.
It's every time. I'm driver of the 16. I have blocked your name out of my memory because of what you did in the tri-oval. Why are you pushing him? Why are we What's the point? What's the point? Do you not want to win? Do you always want to be second? I don't get it. What's the point?
I think the only thing that was going to beat him on that final lap is if the 7 could have linked up to the rear bumper of the 1 quicker. And they kind of, Justin got to his rear bumper as they went through the middle of 3 and 4. And then they kind of got disconnected for a second coming off of 4. And if they could have stayed connected there, they could have had the momentum, but they it took them a second to get connected, and then as they got to the 16, they actually disconnected again, and that killed the run that the one had to beat 21.
Yes, but if there was anybody else in the lead, they would have connected perfectly.
It's like when he's in the lead.
You guys think there's some conspiracy theory?
No, there's not a conspiracy. He's just got some sort of entrapment on his car that's like a magnet that pushes everybody else away.
It's
so
the boogeyman.
That's all I'm saying.
It's like
really fast.
When you saw the
Just
3 car with
the car through check twice this weekend.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what? Only one guy beat him on a super speedway this year.
That's true.
Connor Zilic.
That's what I said.
Connor
I
Zilic.
said in the group chat. I was like, Parker, you need to sit these guys down. You need to be at the drivers' meeting this weekend with NASCAR when they sit everybody down before the Martinsville race. Be like, hey, when we get to Daytona next year, boys, this is what you need to do.
Yeah.
And you just put like earmuffs on Austin Hill so he can't hear you.
Let's talk F1 real quick. It was the USGP this past weekend. Absolutely one of the more boring races of all time.
Yep.
But Max Verstappen was able to win. I guess I chose him to win. I was also in the Sky Sports F1 post where I chose him to win. And
congratulations. You really should have said Lance Stroll. That would have been
pat me on the back a little bit. But it's tightened up this championship, and it's getting real that he could make it. He could make this happen. I love it.
Yeah, I mean, it's possible. I mean, you still need a lot of stuff to happen between then and now for that to happen, but it's possible.
You can hear his music in the distance. It's getting louder, and I'm here for it. I've been a staunch McLaren hater for years, so I'm ready for it.
It's definitely piqued my interest this year more in F1. So,
how about the sprint race though? You didn't. I don't think you watched it, Parker. But...
No, I saw the highlights. So I saw the McLaren
guys
guys take each other out when Hulkenberg went to the inside, and they were like, "It's his fault." And I was like, "Well, he's kind of making a move," and then you guys just ran into each other. So,
you don't like your ways of thinking over there.
I don't like the sprint races. I still don't like them. I just don't like.
That's the funny thing. After the sprint race, Crofty and Martin Brundle were there. They're like, "Man, that was a pretty good sprint race. That was pretty awesome." And then Crofty's just like, "Yeah, these usually suck." He didn't say exactly that. He's like, "Yeah, it's pretty surprising. These sprint races usually aren't that entertaining." Martin's like, "No, they're not, Martin. No, they're not, Crofty."
No, to me, it's just like Grand Prix racing is about the Grand Prix, and the sprint thing just defies it in every. I don't know. It just seems like it cheapens it. I don't know. I can't get into them. I watch them occasionally, obviously, and I'm like, okay, that was cool. Like, I'd rather just watch like another round of qualifying, to be honest. So
plus, like sometimes it takes in these F1 races, it takes like a good 3/4 of the race for somebody to hunt somebody down and pass them. So when the race is 19 laps, like the race is over after lap 5, usually, unless there's like a safety car, which we had this time.
Yeah,
I mean. Personally, the races are always at a time where I'm going to be asleep anyway, so I usually put the race on. I set an alarm, watch the first 2 laps, then leave the race on and sleep, and then wake up to the post-race coverage and see that the starting order is about where the finishing order was, minus 1 or 2 people going out. So I think it's great. I'm fine with it.
Okay. Well, no sprint this weekend, right?
That's
a F1 race this weekend?
That's a bold statement. Let's see.
It's Mexico this weekend.
It is Mexico this weekend. There is no sprint this weekend.
I didn't think there was. So back to normal. Let's do some picks, guys.
Whoa.
What?
News. Colton Herta has officially signed for F2 in 2026.
Oh, right. How did we forget that?
High-Tech used to be who they used to be called?
High-Tech?
Yeah, didn't they get bought out or something?
No, I think you're thinking of ART or Vortec.
Oh, yeah, it was ART. ART's, aren't they still called it? I forget it. I don't know.
I'm trying to remember. I can't remember either. But hey, this is a big deal.
HM or something?
Okay.
They're called AIX now, I think. I don't know.
Okay.
Go ahead, Parker. Tell us why this is a big deal.
No, I want to say it's a big deal, and I can't believe I forgot it. It's huge. This was the rumor that this is what he was doing. He's going to be a Cadillac reserve driver and then do this to get the super license points. But I think, when you look at what he's accomplished at the top level at IndyCar, this is obviously a step down in some respects. You're going to a feeder series that has generally never had like professional drivers who are, being funded to become a professional, right? In the way they design things over there, it's not like the Xfinity series or trucks where it's still a professional series. There's professional drivers who are getting paid to be there. That doesn't happen in F2. So this is wild, right? And we've made the joke on here like, hey, he's probably the highest paid F2 driver of all time sort of thing because he's the only one getting paid. But the thing from his point of view that I think is wild is like, this is a huge risk. If he doesn't do well, doesn't get, figure this out super quick, that basically all but solidifies he's not going to F1, right? But in that same breath, I feel like the risk versus reward is absolutely worth it. If it all fails, he'll go back to IndyCar. He's an IndyCar winner. He's a future Indy 500 champion. He's going to be an IndyCar champion. I think, he knows he can go back. So it's sort of, in his perspective, it's like, hey, this can be fun for a year. If it works out, if I work really hard and somehow figure out this F2 car and the tire and these tracks he's never been to, and he does something spectacular, or even just good enough to get his super license points, then, it was worth it. Because if he gets to F1, it was entirely worth it. If not, no harm, no foul, go back to IndyCar, right? So I think it's very brave, though. It's incredibly brave of Colton Herta to do this. I, for one, am absolutely rooting him on, supporting him. I hope this, works out for him. I hope he's able to find his footing over there in those cars. I know, I say all those things about lack of it being professional series, quote unquote. It's incredibly competitive. I do know that. It's one of the most competitive spec series in the world, and in the last 10 years has gotten incredibly competitive because of how big F1's gotten, how many drivers are being funded from either F1 teams, F1 sponsors, countries that usually fund these drivers. Often, literal sovereign funds are funding these drivers to see if they can make it to F1. So it's incredibly competitive, what he's walking into. And, I think it's incredibly brave. So I hope he's successful, but this would be wild to watch. And, I've always had a tougher time tuning in F2. I've followed Jack Crawford, who's the other American over there right now, who's been doing great things and won at Silverstone earlier this year. But it's, I think someone this high profile going into F2 is, I don't know if that's ever happened. So this will be big, really big. He's breaking new ground.
He's going to have experience, obviously, racing. Like, I'm assuming the F2 cars are probably a little easier to drive than an F1 or an Indy car on a road course.
I think they're pretty comparable.
The other thing, I don't think they have power steering either,
which is great for him.
Used to that. Yeah,
he's used to that. So that's great. I don't know that particular about the F2 car, but I think speed-wise they're pretty comparable to an Indy car.
Oh, really?
Wow.
Yeah. I think they're way slower.
No, I think they're pretty comparable. I think the tire, the tire is going to be one of the hardest things for him to figure out. It's an incredibly different tire, and it's a very, very finicky.
It's narrow,
tire.
Too. It's a narrow tire.
It is, and it's low profile, and it's from what I understand, it's a very peaky tire. What I mean by that is like it has a very tight operating window. And so you have to be really up to speed on like exactly where that tire wants to be and how it reacts and that sort of thing. So that will be one of the harder things for him to figure out in short order. But hey, I love the risk. I think it's brave as hell. And I think he has the entirety of the U.S. racing world behind him right now, rooting him on. So go after it, buddy. I love it.
Did last week, did you and Landon talk about the major news as far as Apple signing with Formula One? I feel like that news came out after we recorded.
Did we? Well, we've known about it.
It came out the other day.
We've known about it for months. So
I
think I told you guys that months ago.
It's cemented.
Yeah,
the news
is a public thing now.
But F1 TV is a part of your Apple TV subscription now. So for everyone who was worried about F1 TV going away, it is not. It's a part of your Apple TV subscription. If you're not an Apple TV subscriber, but you have F1 TV, the price difference will be about $9 over the course of the year, $9 to $13 more just over the course of the whole year. And you get the catalog of Apple TV, which I will say so myself is probably the best streaming service as far as quality content.
Whoa.
Right, buddy.
I don't know if that's
right, buddy.
Yeah,
what?
Whoa.
Well, I mean,
I like some of their shows, but I wouldn't say they are the leader.
I think they're the new HBO. I think if they're going to put out
what do
HBO,
they have?
Still HBO.
What do they have? What shows they got?
They got the morning show, which is really good.
Yeah.
Ted Lasso was amazing.
Yep.
Slow Horses is good.
I see your
the Foundation, which I struggle to figure out what's happening half the time.
They have Silo.
Silo, I haven't watched.
Which is
they have the Shrink one, Shrinking or Shrink. That's
Severance.
pretty good. Severance, I haven't watched, but I know that was popular.
Let's see.
Let's just name every show. Let's just go through the list. No,
nobody's ever heard of half these shows.
They're the ones who funded the F1.
They did do the F1 movie, which was
F1
really
movie.
Good. Here's the thing. I think this is a interesting move in that a couple things. One, everything is showing you that if you want reach, you got to be on broadcast network, right? That's why the NFL is still on broadcast networks. That's why we talk about NASCAR having to be on broadcast networks. Obviously, they have a very young audience for F1, so that leans in the favor of this working out. I think most likely, though, the toughest thing for them is going to be relying on Apple to put out advertising around this, right? To use push notifications and that sort of thing to get people to watch, and as opposed to where it's been on ESPN or ABC, but really ESPN, where people wake up in the morning on a Sunday and they're like, oh, F1's on, I'll watch that, right? Because it's on ESPN. And they're already there because they're football fans or whatever, and they've heard F1's popular and they check it out. And they're like, oh, that's kind of cool, right? And I think that's where you've seen a lot of your ratings growth. It's on ABC, so on and so forth. I think as a general reach, this was a mistake. But in terms of what they're going after, which is your high net worth individuals and obviously a high net worth viewer base, that's probably Apple, who probably has access to every one of those individuals, right? In terms of like the idea of culture and that idea that they've leaned heavily into, I think that doesn't really go away, other than it just not having the broad reach of network or cable is an issue there in terms of being on ESPN or ABC. But at the end of the day, the biggest thing is going to be Apple having to promote it. Like that's what you're leaning on and relying on. And they got what, 50 million more than they were going to get if they stayed at ESPN, or that they got the most recent one with ESPN. I don't think that means anything to them. That's a drop in the bucket at this point for F1. This is a big risk. So we'll see if it works out for them. I don't even know, the other side of it, I don't even know what success is, because I know the F1 TV numbers were not huge. The, network numbers were great. Apple doesn't release numbers, so they kind of fall off the conversation of even having that as a content point and a thing to promote. So I think it's an interesting decision. And if they, with all the fanfare they have, if anyone can make it work, it's them. But I do believe that there is a lack of subscribers to Apple TV to say, like, reach wise, they're one of the lowest of the streaming platforms. So they are, from what we understand, the estimated numbers, because I don't think they put it out there. So what's that?
And on top of that, you and Landon have discussed over the past year and a half that oh man, is this like an F1 top signal? Like every single thing. And it's like, man, there's already people saying that in the zeitgeist. Yep. Like this might be like their car of tomorrow, if you will.
Yeah, they just
I don't know, or whatever people say, or why NASCAR lost popularity, whether it's the car tomorrow or whatever, the chase, who cares? Like this might be their version of that, is just going to Apple TV, because MLS is less popular. Now, I think MLS is like an additional subscription on top of Apple TV. Maybe that was the problem there.
For what it's worth, I don't
know, because I've seen MLS pop up, and I wanted to see an Apple TV broadcast. I've clicked on it before, and it works. And I don't.
Oh, okay. So somebody lied to me.
No, and I see it on there. I would say I've watched about 5 minutes of one game, and I think it was Messi playing, like when he first started. So it was at, I went on Apple TV, and it's like live Lionel Messi, Miami versus whatever. So that was interesting. But no, to your point, I think there's a lot of people that feel like the MLS deal was not a good deal for MLS. So we'll see. And I would say that audience aligns pretty heavily with the F1 audience.
So for what it's worth, Apple says that they have over 45 million subscribers.
Yeah, which would put them one of the lowest.
Yeah. For comparison, according to very cursory searching, Netflix is at about a 30 or 300 million.
Yeah,
so
I was gonna say 300.
Yeah, 300 million. Sorry.
Amazon's like 110 or something, 100 million.
Yeah, but okay.
Well, hold on.
I
And then I'm
don't.
gonna say because it comes with your Prime subscription, so you have
Exactly.
it. Well, but
So
then you have HBO, which I think is 80 million.
how many of those subscribers on HBO are just people who have a cable package that pay for the HBO add-on?
I don't think they do that anymore.
Yes,
I don't know.
they
They do?
definitely they
Yeah,
definitely
who's
do.
buying cable nowadays? Come
Hey,
on.
you know what? It's still that would be about double. So
But is F1 getting that number that they got from Apple from a cable or network TV brand and still going commercial free on their broadcasts?
they said they're going commercial free.
No, yeah, they said
No,
they're
I
gonna do
know.
that.
But if they were on a cable or network television broadcast and that place was paying 150 million for those rights, are they going to want to put
Well, that's why they couldn't get
commercials?
150 million because they can only sell, that's why it's been capped at like 90 million or whatever ESPN paid, because they can't, without doing commercials, they can't justify any more than that. So
For sure. So that's what I'm saying is I don't see how they get that numbers and still retain commercial free with like a linear television based contract.
Now, the caveat to all this, like I've said multiple times, is if Apple, which I think they said that eventually they want to do their own production and broadcast and everything and their own talent and that sort of stuff. You know, the thing that they have, which is the same thing Amazon had with NASCAR going to Amazon, is they had that opportunity where, how many iPhones are there in the United States? Basically, like everyone's got an iPhone. They can send everyone a notification, and is however creative they get with that and pushing that and pushing other ancillary content that maybe isn't even through the Apple TV subscription. That's like F1 highlight or, see this exclusive F1 piece free on Apple TV, right? Like that's the sort of thing they can do that could have immense value. It's just that is the X factor in the whole thing, right? And if they do their own production and it turns out to be amazing and they have all these trick cameras that they've talked about, all this stuff, like, sure, like that could be an X factor that, put aside all the numbers of subscribers and that sort of thing, that could be the thing that's like, oh, that worked actually because they were able to do this. So we'll see. I don't know.
I'm excited because I feel like Apple is going to be a broadcast partner that is going to experiment and do new things. And that's something you're never going to get with a linear television contract.
I just hope we still get the Sky Sports one because I love Martin Brundle.
I don't see why we wouldn't. Personally, I'm the people that are executives at Apple right now are very clearly Formula One fans. They are pushing hard Formula One. So they are a fan of the product. I don't see why they would shake that up.
Okay.
That's my prediction.
Martin Brundle is one of the best racing commentators in the world, in my opinion, if not the best. So let's move on. Let's talk about picks. We got to do picks. We've been talking for a long time.
Yeah, we've been recording for like 2 hours now.
Whoa.
It's too much.
News. Max Verstappen is officially the favorite to win a race for the first time, I think, all season.
Oh,
according
he's
to
amazing at
Dodgebrook.
Mexico, so I believe it.
Well, let's see. He's going to get this championship. I feel it. I would have bet on it months ago. Let's do picks. AJ, give us a Cup winner, Xfinity truck, and F1.
Okay, Cup. I'm going with Denny Hamlin. Xfinity. I'm going to go Justin Allgaier. Trucks. Corey Heim for the 80 millionth time this season. And then F1 Max, obviously easiest bet.
All right. Let's see. For Cup, I'm gonna go with. They just took the racing lines away from me. That's crazy.
Oh, you're looking at, dude. I did it off my dome, dude. How you're gonna look at a list? Parker, you better not be looking at a list. Too,
I'm not.
dude.
I got no list. I'm gonna do it off.
You better
the dome.
not.
All right. Fine. I'm gonna go with Blaney because I'm feeling strong about Blaney. I picked him this time last year to win the championship this year. You can't let me down. I'm so close to a sweep of all 3 series as far as my champions go. Let's see. And then I'm gonna go Eric Almirola again. I really feel like
Good pick.
I think Almirola is gonna be entertaining to watch. And he's always good at these short tracks. With the trucks, lane rigs, because Ford is going to be desperate for something to happen in Phoenix for them. And they need something. And then just because it's the funny thing, I'm going to go with not Max to win. I'm going to go with Norris. I think Norris is going to win. And we're going to be at a tied championship leaving Mexico.
That'd be cool.
All right. Cup, Chase Elliott. Xfinity, I've got a crazy one. Christian Eckes.
Wow.
Wow.
You think he'll learn how to pass Austin Hill this week?
Let's just see.
Probably going to sneak their way into
I'm going Ty
Final Four
Majeski.
once again.
Majeski. All right. That's actually a really good pick. That's a really good pick.
F1, I'm going with the lion himself, Max Verstappen.
Okay.
All right. We got some reviews. We have new Apple reviews. This is shocking. It must have been that we called it out earlier, but we got a couple. So 5 stars here from SimRacer1018 said best all-around racing podcast / show. Okay, thanks for getting it right. Parker and Landon deep dive into current motorsport news, happenings, and insiders' perspectives. Great way to stay updated on NASCAR, IndyCar, and F1, as well as rest of motorsport world. Keep up the great work, gentlemen. This is absolutely the best racing show on the planet. I don't think he'll be saying that or she after what happened today, but I don't know. It's tough to say.
This was a great episode.
I'm just saying, you guys, you needed a little bit of fan perspective to really bring some spice to the show.
Yeah, right. What we needed. 5 stars, professional poetic from S. Timmy Jokes. Can't say enough about this. Thumbs up. All right, thank you. Appreciate that. And 5 stars from Ryan Lepper, who says, one more person than Denny listens. I love your guys' podcast. Scratch that show. I think both of you are funny and very informative. I love the thought a while back about the different manufacturers running whatever engine they want. I can't wait for Kyle Busch next week. Oh. Well, I agree on the manufacturers. That's going to be cool. That's going to happen. It's definitely happening. But we also on Spotify, Derek Henze, 5 stars, guys. Since there are no new Apple reviews, wanted Bubba to win at Kansas, but got ran over by Hammond Wagon. PK, Landon, and Josh, you guys rock.
Hey, thanks. I got mentioned.
Being my favorite show. P.S. Can 1999 NASCAR champion Dale Jarrett be a guest on the show? Actually, that'd be amazing. Dale's the best. He would absolutely come on. I love Dale. He's awesome. He would 100% come on. We got a couple from YouTube. Temp free trial account 4. What a name.
You say temp
free. That's pretty good. Temp free trial account 4. This is a nice break from the pain of being a Mariner fan the last couple of days. Smiley face.
Ooh.
That's tough. I'm sorry.
Yeah, sorry. No You Games says, just watch the 52 minutes highlight reel of Supercars. He's mentioning Bathurst. That's awesome. Also, AJ, you liked that one. Thank you for doing that. We should usually
He loved it.
All the comments.
He didn't just like it.
He loved it. He loved it.
We
appreciate you doing that. And TBNV FM 48. Amazing intro. Got my Parker 2 win shirt today. Can't wait for my signed 75 truck from SpoilerDiecast.com. They didn't say the spoiler part, but I know they bought it there. So we appreciate all you. That's awesome.
I got one closing question for the 3 of you guys. So we've talked about it in the past. How Interstellar is just quintessential cinema.
Yes.
Have you guys seen Baby Driver?
Yeah.
Yes.
Where's that stand for you guys?
Nowhere close to
It's
Interstellar.
not even top 10.
No.
Really?
No, I don't even know if it's top 50. Or
wow.
100.
You don't enjoy it. Interesting.
Yeah.
It's an okay movie, but
it's an okay movie. Yeah.
It's
like a popcorn. Like it's a popcorn movie, whereas like Interstellar is like a. I need to sit down and focus.
So movie. Interstellar is like Kyle Busch in the 18, and Baby Driver is like Kyle Busch in the 8.
Yeah. Well. Yeah. That plays.
Yeah.
That plays. And awkwardly, we kind of buried that where Landon's not here. He was the one that was actually in contact with Kyle.
Yeah.
So he never showed up. Landon didn't show up. So we have completely messed this up once again. Honestly, we're getting close to the end of the season. We've got basically one more week left in the season. We've got to make this happen. He will be out of commission in the offseason. We know that. It's going to have to be next week, guys. Kyle Busch.
Let it go sometimes.
Yeah. All right. Peace. Thank you for listening. Thank you so much for watching and listening to the Money Lap. If you like this show, please like and subscribe to us on YouTube. Share it with friends. We want to spread the word of great motorsports shows, of which we're somewhere up and around there. I'm not exactly sure where, but nonetheless, you can also reach out to us anytime on across social media or at our website, themoneylap.com, or at our email, friends@themoneylap.com. And of course, you can always leave us a review. 5 stars gets you on this very show. Thank you so much for listening and watching. Goodbye.